The airport was alive with energy. Lights glimmered on polished floors, screens displayed flight information in bright colors, and travelers hurried in every direction, pulling their luggage and checking their devices. Amid the usual chaos, a small figure held tightly to her father's hand, trying to keep up. Mina, a little girl of 7, looked around with wide, curious eyes. She had soft brown hair tied in 2 small braids and carried a small pink backpack with a cartoon rocket printed on it. Her father, Tommel, walked beside her, smiling but keeping a careful eye on the crowd. "Stay close, Mina," Tommel said, his voice gentle but firm. "We don't want to get separated." Mina nodded and clutched his hand a little tighter. Traveling by plane had always been exciting for her, but airports were large and confusing places. Today they were traveling to another city for Tommel's work, and Mina was both nervous and curious. They passed the first security checkpoint smoothly. Robots scanned luggage, and passengers showed their tickets to polite, uniformed staff. Mina pressed her small hands together in front of her chest and looked around in awe. The airport was full of people from everywhere, some speaking in languages she had never heard before. But as they approached the next checkpoint, a sudden tension filled the air. Without warning, 14 police dogs appeared, moving quickly from different directions. They formed a perfect circle around Mina, their ears alert and eyes fixed on her. Mina froze. The dogs were large, some with sleek black coats, others golden or spotted. Their paws clicked sharply on the polished floor. They didn't bark yet, but their low growls sent chills down the spines of nearby travelers. "Dad?" Mina whispered, her voice trembling. Tommel stepped in front of her, holding her hand tightly. "It's okay, Mina, don't be afraid. I'm right here." The crowd started murmuring. Some people gasped. Others pulled out their phones, filming the unusual scene. Security personnel hurried toward the group, but the dogs remained focused on Mina, not moving aside. Officer Carroll, the head of airport security, stepped forward. He was a tall man with short, dark hair and a calm but serious face. "Step back, please. Everyone stay clear," he said firmly. His voice echoed through the terminal. One of the dogs, a large German shepherd named Rico, moved closer to Mina. His nose twitched as if sniffing her carefully. Another dog, a golden Labrador named Suri, sat down beside Rico, her eyes fixed on the little girl. Tommel bent down to Mina's level. "Mina, it's going to be okay," he said softly. "Just stay calm." Mina looked up at him, then at the dogs surrounding her. She could feel their attention, their focus on her. Strangely, she didn't feel scared, just very aware. Each dog seemed to be trying to understand her, as if they could see inside her mind. Officer Carroll signaled to his team. "Why are the dogs acting this way?" "Run a full scan now!" Scanners whirred and lights flashed, checking Mina and her belongings for any danger. The crowd grew silent. Everyone watched, waiting for a sign of what was happening. Minutes passed. The dogs remained calm but alert. The scanners beeped and flashed, but there were no explosives, no weapons, nothing dangerous. "Nothing shows up," one officer reported. "She's clean," Carroll frowned. "Then why are the dogs surrounding her? They've never done this before." Tommel tightened his grip on Mina's hand. "I promise they won't hurt you," he whispered. He could feel her small hand trembling slightly. Mina, however, felt a strange sense of connection. She didn't know why, but she could feel the dog's thoughts, or something like thoughts. It was as if they were asking her silently, "Are you okay? Are you safe?" The crowd began to grow restless. People whispered among themselves, some looking worried, some excited. "Why are the dogs surrounding the girl?" one traveler asked. Another shook their head. "I've never seen anything like this." A security scientist named Drava arrived. She was known for studying unusual animal behavior, and today she had been monitoring the airport security system remotely. Seeing the live feed of 14 police dogs forming a circle around a small child, she quickly made her way to the scene. Drava knelt beside Mina, keeping her distance but observing carefully. She noticed tiny signals she had never seen before, a faint, almost invisible pulse of energy around the girl. She frowned, her curiosity growing. "Ma'am," Officer Carroll said, "we need you to explain what's happening." "Why are these dogs acting this way?" Drava shook her head. "I don't know yet, but something about this girl is extraordinary. The dogs aren't aggressive, they're protective. They're sensing something I can't explain." Tommel looked at Drava, puzzled. Extraordinary? What do you mean? Drava smiled gently. I don't want to alarm you, but these dogs can detect many things humans cannot. Sometimes they react to unusual signals, chemical, biological, or even emotional. Right now, I think they feel a very strong presence from your daughter. Mina tilted her head, listening to the adults talk. She didn't fully understand their words, but she could sense that the dogs trusted her. That realization gave her a small measure of courage. Suddenly, one of the crowd members, a teenager holding a phone, stepped closer than allowed. One of the dogs growled softly, and the teenager froze. Another dog moved slightly forward, blocking the path. Please, step back, Officer Carroll shouted. The crowd obeyed, giving the little girl space. Mina noticed something amazing. She could somehow calm the dogs. She focused on them, imagining a circle of safety around herself. Slowly, the growls softened. The dogs shifted slightly but continued to form their protective ring. Drava watched closely, her eyes widening. Incredible. She's not just being protected, she's influencing them. Tommel felt a mixture of pride and worry. Mina, can you control them? He whispered. Mina nodded slightly. She didn't know how it was happening, but it felt natural. She only wanted the dogs to know she wasn't afraid. The crowd began to understand. People gasped, whispered, and pointed. Look, she's controlling the dogs, one person said. Another muttered, This is amazing. Airport staff called for more security support just to be safe. But no one dared touch the dogs or Mina. The police dogs stayed perfectly still, waiting for the right signal. Drava approached Carol quietly. We need to keep calm. The girl is not a threat. In fact, she may be something unique. Carol nodded slowly, still cautious. We'll protect her, but we need to understand what's going on before we move forward. Meanwhile, Mina looked around at the faces in the crowd. Some were smiling, some were shocked, and some were still worried. But she felt a strange sense of pride. She was small, but the dogs had chosen her. Somehow she knew this was only the beginning of something extraordinary. Tommel knelt beside her. You're very special, Mina. I think today is going to be a very important day for you. Mina looked up at him and smiled nervously. She didn't fully understand what he meant, but she felt ready. She could sense the dog's trust, and that made her feel powerful in a gentle way. The airport remained tense, with whispers and cameras capturing every moment. But one thing was clear. This little girl and 14 police dogs had done something that no one had ever seen before. And everyone was about to find out that Mina's story was only just beginning. The airport terminal was still buzzing with activity, but the focus of everyone's attention remained on Mina and the 14 police dogs surrounding her. Travelers whispered, pulled out phones to record, and stared in awe, unsure of what they were witnessing. Mina held her father Tommel's hand tightly, but she no longer felt as frightened as before. Somehow the dog's presence was comforting. Officer Carroll and his team worked quickly to restore order. Barriers were put up, keeping curious onlookers at a safe distance. Security officers approached the dogs cautiously, but each time they tried to get closer, the animals shifted subtly, their stance firm and protective. Drava knelt near Mina again, her eyes scanning every movement. She carried a small handheld device that could detect biological signals and read subtle patterns in brain activity. As she gently waved it near Mina, the device beeped softly, picking up signals that were unusual but not harmful. This is remarkable, Drava whispered to herself. Then she turned to Carol. The girl is emitting something I've never seen before. The dogs are reacting to her biosignals, not any danger. Carol raised an eyebrow. Biosignals? Explain. Drava straightened and spoke calmly. Think of it as a very subtle form of communication, like an invisible language between living beings. The dogs can sense it, and it tells them to protect her. Tommel knelt down to Mina's level, worried but also curious. Mina, can you feel what the lady is saying? Mina nodded. Yes, I feel them. The dogs. They want to help me. They are not scared or angry. They just care, Drava smiled. See, that's exactly it. The dogs sense her and she senses them. It's an incredible connection. Carol rubbed his chin. So you're saying she didn't do anything wrong? She just has a gift. Exactly, Drava replied. But we need to be careful. The public is watching and not everyone will understand. We need to handle this properly. While the adults discussed Mina's unusual ability, one of the dogs, Rico, stepped closer to her. His eyes were calm and focused, as if trying to communicate something. Mina reached out her small hand and gently touched his fur. The contact seemed to strengthen the connection. Suddenly, a reporter in the crowd called out, "Why are these dogs surrounding this little girl? Is she a secret agent? Is she dangerous?" The crowd murmured in response. Some were frightened, others fascinated. Tommel shook his head. "No, she's just a little girl. There's nothing dangerous about her." Drava stepped forward and addressed the crowd, speaking clearly so everyone could hear. "Please, everyone stay calm. There is no threat here. This girl is safe. The dogs are acting protectively because they sense her unique ability. Nothing else." The murmurs slowly quieted, but the curiosity in the crowd remained. Phones continued to record and travelers whispered among themselves, some looking amazed, others skeptical. Carol looked around and spotted a group of scientists in crisp white uniforms approaching. Drava's eyes widened. "They're from the National Research Institute," she said quietly. "They must have seen the situation remotely. This will get even more attention." The scientists arrived and were greeted by Carol. "This is the child I mentioned," Carol said, pointing toward Mina. 14 police dogs are surrounding her, protective but calm. She isn't a threat, but we have no explanation. One of the scientists, a woman named Selin, knelt to Mina's level and smiled. "Hello, Mina, I'm Selin. Can you tell me how the dogs make you feel?" Mina thought for a moment. "They feel like friends, like they understand me, and they don't want me to be scared." Selin's eyes sparkled. "That's extraordinary. Most children can't influence animals this way, let alone communicate with them without words. You are special." Tommel smiled faintly but looked uneasy. "Special can be good, but I worry about how others will react. People don't understand things they can't see." Drava nodded. "You're right. That's why we need to stay calm and study her carefully. We don't want to frighten her or make this worse." Meanwhile, Mina felt a strange energy in the air. The dogs shifted slightly, responding to her mood. She could feel each one's loyalty and focus. It was an unspoken understanding, a quiet language of trust. As the adults discussed plans, one of the airport staff noticed something unusual on the surveillance monitors. A small metallic object, a drone, had entered the terminal far away from the main crowd. It moved quickly, zigzagging between passengers. Carol's expression grew serious. "Everyone stay alert. That drone shouldn't be here." Drava looked at Mina. "Can you feel it? I know it's not a dog, but maybe." Mina's eyes widened. She concentrated, focusing on the small object moving through the terminal. She felt the faint energy of the drone, mechanical, sharp, and chaotic. Then she glanced at the dogs. "They can help," she said softly. Carol frowned. "Help? How?" "They can't." "Oh, wait." He watched Mina carefully. She lifted her hand slightly and the dogs responded immediately, moving subtly in formation around her, adjusting their positions. Drava's jaw dropped. Incredible. She's coordinating them, not just calming them, but directing them. The crowd gasped again. People whispered excitedly, taking photos and videos. Mina, small and determined, had the attention of everyone in the terminal. She didn't fully understand what she was doing, but she trusted the dogs, and the dogs trusted her. Tommel held her hand. "Mina, remember what I said. You can do this. Just be careful." Mina nodded. She focused her mind on the dogs, imagining a barrier of safety around the people in the terminal. The dogs moved as if they understood every thought. Rico and Suri took positions at the front, ready to block the drone if it approached. The drone, sensing the dog's presence, slowed slightly. Mina felt a strange thrill of control. She didn't want to harm anything, but she wanted to protect everyone. Drava whispered to Carol, "She's not just extraordinary, she's heroic. She has instinctive control like a conductor leading an orchestra, but with animals." Carol nodded slowly, still cautious. "We'll see how this plays out. But for now, no one intervenes. Let her do her thing." Minutes passed. Mina continued to concentrate. The dogs remained perfectly coordinated, their movements precise. The drone hovered near the crowd, then slowly retreated, unable to get close. The passengers remained safe, and the terminal began to calm. The crowd erupted in quiet applause. Mina smiled, feeling proud. She looked up at the dogs surrounding her. They wagged their tails slightly, their eyes soft and protective. She reached out, touching Rico's head. "You did it," she whispered. "We did it." Drava approached carefully, holding her device. "Mina, you have something very rare. You can sense and communicate with animals. We want to help you understand it safely. Tommel hesitated. Is that safe for her? Drava nodded. Absolutely. We'll study her gently and help her learn. She could do great things if she understands her gift. Mina looked around at the amazed faces in the crowd. She felt proud but also a little nervous. Her life had just changed and she didn't fully understand how. But she knew one thing. She had the dogs and together they could face anything. The airport slowly returned to normal, but whispers of Mina's extraordinary ability spread quickly. Travelers shared videos online, and soon news outlets would be talking about the little girl who controlled 14 police dogs. Tommel held Mina close. You've done something amazing today, Mina. Remember, always be kind and always use your gift for good. Mina nodded. She looked at the dogs and smiled. I will. I promise. And as the sun shone through the large airport windows, Mina realized that her adventure was only beginning. The world was full of mysteries and she was ready to face them, with her loyal friends by her side. The airport had slowly returned to its usual rhythm, but Mina and her father, Tommel, were still surrounded by security officers and the 14 police dogs. Travelers continued to whisper and take photos from a safe distance, their curiosity barely contained. Mina felt a mixture of pride and nervousness. She had never realized before that the dogs could understand her so clearly. She looked at Rico, Suri, and the other dogs, feeling the silent bond that connected them. Somehow she knew they trusted her, and that trust gave her courage. Drava knelt beside Mina again, her eyes studying the little girl carefully. Mina, she said gently, do you know why the dogs are protecting you? Do you know what is happening? Mina shook her head slowly. I don't know. They just understand me. I feel what they feel and they feel what I feel. I don't know why. Drava smiled softly. That's your gift. You have a very rare ability, one that humans almost never have. You can communicate with animals not with words but with feelings and signals they can sense. You can influence them, guide them, and even protect others through them. Mina's eyes grew wide. I can do that? Really? Yes, Drava said. And today you proved it. You protected everyone in this terminal without even realizing the full power of what you were doing. Tommel knelt beside her, a mix of pride and worry in his eyes. Mina, this is incredible. But it also means we need to be careful. People will want to study this and not everyone will understand. Mina nodded, gripping her father's hand. She was proud of what she had done, but also scared of what might come next. She didn't want to be treated differently, and she certainly didn't want anyone to think she was dangerous. At that moment, Salen, one of the scientists from the National Research Institute, stepped forward. She was a kind-faced woman with sharp eyes that seemed to notice everything. Mina, would you like to see how your gift works in a safe place? She asked gently. We can help you understand it. Mina hesitated, glancing at her father. Tommel nodded slowly. If you feel safe, Mina, you can try it. Just remember you are in control. Mina took a deep breath. Okay, I'll try. Drava guided them to a secure area in the airport away from the crowd. It was a large open space where the dogs could move freely, and the scientists could observe without interruption. Once inside, the dogs relaxed slightly but remained alert, forming a loose circle around Mina. She stood in the center, her small hands clenched in front of her chest. Now, Drava said, try to focus. Don't think about controlling them with words. Just feel them like you did before. Mina closed her eyes. She thought about the dogs, imagining a circle of calm and trust. She felt their energy, their loyalty, and their readiness to protect. Slowly, she reached out with her mind, or at least she tried to. To her surprise, the dogs responded almost immediately. They shifted their positions, moving smoothly in a coordinated pattern. Rico moved to the left, Suri to the right, and the others adjusted instinctively. They weren't following orders. They were responding to her feelings. Drava and Selen exchanged amazed looks. Incredible, Drava whispered. She isn't just influencing them. She's communicating with them on a level we can't fully measure. Selen nodded. This is beyond anything we've ever seen. Her connection with animals is instinctive, precise, and very powerful. Mina opened her eyes and smiled slightly. She could feel the dogs listening to her, trusting her completely. It's like they understand me, she whispered. Yes, Mina, Drava said, and you understand them. That is what makes you unique. Most people can't sense the thoughts or feelings of animals. You can. You have a gift that can help others and also help animals themselves. Tommel watched his daughter amazed. Mina, do you know how important this is? You could help in so many ways. Rescue missions, protecting people, even understanding animals better than we ever could. Mina nodded slowly. I want to help, but I also want to be safe. I don't want anyone to be scared of me. Drava smiled reassuringly. We'll make sure that never happens. Today you helped everyone without anyone getting hurt. That shows your gift is for good. You just need to learn how to use it carefully. At that moment, one of the scientists pointed to a monitor showing a live feed from the airport terminal. Look, she said. People are still watching. They're amazed, but there's curiosity too. This girl is becoming famous without even trying. Mina tilted her head. Famous, me? Yes, Drava said gently. People will talk about you, but what matters is how you feel. You can choose to use your gift to help and people will see it in a positive way. Just then, a small commotion arose near the terminal doors. A curious passenger had tried to approach, and the dogs immediately formed a tighter circle around Mina. She raised her hand slightly, signaling them to calm down. Slowly, the dogs relaxed, their tails wagging gently but keeping their protective positions. It's amazing, Seelan said softly. She can control them, guide them, and calm them all at once. And she's only 7 years old, Mina smiled nervously. She still didn't fully understand everything she could do, but she could feel the responsibility growing inside her. She wasn't just a little girl anymore. She had a gift, and she needed to learn how to use it wisely. Drava looked at Tommel. We can train her slowly and carefully. She has the potential to do extraordinary things, but it has to be done in a safe environment. She must understand her own limits and the limits of her gift. Tommel nodded. I understand. I want her to be safe, and I want her to know that what she has is special. Mina looked at the dogs surrounding her. Each one's eyes reflected loyalty and trust. I promise, she whispered. I'll try to be careful. I'll use my gift to help, not to scare anyone. Drava smiled. That's all we can ask for. Today, you showed courage, kindness, and wisdom beyond your years. This is just the beginning, Mina. Suddenly, one of the scientists received an urgent message on her tablet. There's something unusual happening on the outer runway, she said. A drone, similar to the one earlier, has been spotted near the cargo area. It's not responding to standard security protocols. Carol frowned. We have to investigate. Mina, are you okay to stay here with the dogs? Mina nodded. She felt safe with the dogs and confident in her connection with them. Yes, I'll be fine. Drava placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Stay calm, Mina, you'll be okay. The dogs are with you and you know how to guide them. The team left to handle the drone situation and the terminal grew quiet once more. Mina stood in the center of the protective circle, feeling the energy of the dogs around her. She realized something important. This gift was not just about controlling animals, it was about trust, understanding, and cooperation. For the first time, Mina felt truly powerful, but in a gentle way. She didn't want to hurt anyone or anything. She only wanted to protect and help. And as she looked at the dogs, she knew they would always support her, no matter what challenges came next. Mina turned to her father. Dad, do you think I can really help people with this? Tommel smiled and knelt beside her. Yes, Mina, I think you can do amazing things. But remember, the most important thing is to always be kind and brave. That is what will make your gift truly special. Mina nodded. She looked around at the calm dogs, at the scientists who were studying her with respect, and at her father who believed in her. She felt a sense of purpose growing inside her. This was just the beginning of her journey, and she was ready to face it. Outside the secure area, the airport continued to buzz with life, unaware of the extraordinary connection happening in the middle of the terminal. Mina, the little girl with a gift that no one fully understood, was learning the first lessons of courage, kindness, and responsibility. And somewhere deep inside her, Mina knew one thing for certain. Her life would never be the same again. The airport terminal had returned to a sense of calm after the earlier commotion, but tension hung in the air. Mina stood in the middle of the secure area, surrounded by the 14 police dogs. She could feel their energy, their readiness, and their trust. Today she had learned something incredible about herself, but she was about to be tested in a way she never expected. Drava and Seelan were observing Mina closely, while Tommel stayed at her side. The little girl's focus was strong, and the dogs responded to her thoughts and feelings as if they were extensions of her own mind. Mina felt proud, but she also sensed a disturbance. Something was not right. From the outer part of the terminal, a warning alarm echoed loudly. A security officer shouted into his radio, "Unidentified drone entering terminal. All units respond immediately." Mina's heart skipped a beat. She had seen something like this earlier, but this time, the drone seemed more aggressive. It zipped past the barriers, scanning the terminal as if looking for something, or someone. Carol and his team moved quickly to intercept the drone. "Keep calm. Everyone stay back," he shouted. Mina instinctively looked at the dogs. She could feel their tension, their readiness to respond. She realized she could help them just as she had before. Her small hands trembled slightly, but she concentrated, sending out feelings of calm, focus, and direction. The dogs immediately responded. Rico and Suri moved to block the path of the drone. The others fanned out, forming a protective barrier around the crowd. Mina felt a surge of confidence. She was guiding them without speaking, and they were following her instincts perfectly. The drone swooped low, zigzagging toward the passengers. Its small metal body glinted under the bright airport lights. Panic rippled through the crowd and travelers scrambled to safety. Mina's eyes narrowed. She had to protect everyone. "Stay calm," she whispered to the dogs. "You know what to do." In an astonishing display, the dogs coordinated their movements as if rehearsed. Rico leapt forward, guiding the drone with a precise movement of his body. Suri mirrored him on the other side. The remaining dogs moved with incredible speed and precision, creating a human and animal barrier that kept the passengers safe. Drava and Selen watched in awe. "She's controlling them flawlessly," Drava said. "She's not just influencing them, she's leading them strategically." The drone made a sudden dive toward a group of travelers. Mina's heart raced. She focused on the dogs, sending them waves of calm and guiding thoughts. The dogs responded instantly, their instincts perfectly aligned with hers. The German Shepherds and Labradors moved with grace, blocking the drone without harming it. The machine bounced harmlessly off a soft barrier of dogs, skidding along the floor before hovering back up. Mina clenched her fists, concentrating harder. "Careful. Slow it down," she murmured. The dogs responded to the subtle rhythm of her thoughts, pushing the drone back, slowing it enough for the airport security to capture it. Carol finally managed to secure the drone using a magnetic net, preventing it from causing further harm. The passengers watched in stunned silence, realizing that no one had been hurt, and the chaos had been controlled. "Unbelievable," Selen whispered. "She just saved everyone." "With the dogs." Tummel knelt beside Mina, his eyes shining with pride. "Mina, you did it." "You really did it." Mina's chest heaved and she looked down at the dogs. "We did it," she corrected softly. She had felt their help as much as they had felt hers. The bond between them was stronger than ever. The crowd that had gathered outside the secure area erupted in applause. People cheered and clapped, many capturing the incredible event on their devices. Mina, standing in the center of the dogs, smiled nervously, her cheeks flushing. Drava stepped forward. "Mina, you just proved something remarkable. Your gift is not only real, it can save lives, but you must learn to control it carefully. You cannot always predict every situation, and sometimes danger comes from unexpected places." Mina nodded. "I understand. I want to help. But I want to be safe too," Selen smiled. "That's very wise. Courage without caution can be dangerous. But today you showed both bravery and intelligence. You guided them with your heart and mind, and that is very rare." Carol approached, his expression a mix of concern and admiration. "Mina, I think we all owe you a huge thanks. You saved this terminal and everyone inside it. But I also have to warn you, the world will want to study this and not everyone will understand." Mina looked at him thoughtfully. "Then we just have to show them that it's good, that it helps, not hurts." "Yes," Drava said gently, "and we will help you. You are not alone in this." Meanwhile, the crowd began to disperse slowly, still whispering and pointing at the extraordinary sight they had witnessed. Some passengers were amazed, others shocked, but everyone agreed that something incredible had just happened. Tummel put his arm around Mina's shoulders. "You see, Mina, this is your gift, but it's also your responsibility. You must learn to use it wisely." Mina nodded, thinking about the drones, the dogs, and the terrified passengers. She realized that her gift was powerful, but power without understanding could be dangerous. She had a long way to go, but she felt ready to learn. Drava approached with her tablet. We have already started analyzing the signals your body gives off, Mina. These signals are what the dogs respond to. You can strengthen your control and focus, and we can help you understand the limits of your abilities. Mina looked at the tablet, fascinated. She had never seen anything like it before. She could feel the energy within her, and now with guidance she could learn to control it more precisely. Seelan knelt beside her. Think of it as a partnership, Mina. The dogs help you and you help them. Together you can accomplish things that neither humans nor animals could do alone. Mina smiled faintly. I like that. A team. Yes, Seelan said warmly. A very special team. Carol stepped back, watching the little girl and the dogs with a new respect. I think we need to prepare for more situations like this. She may face challenges in the future, and we need to be ready to support her. But for now, she has already shown what she is capable of. Mina felt a sense of pride, but also a sense of humility. She didn't want to boast. She simply wanted to protect, to help, and to understand her gift better. Drava looked around the secure area. We will begin training soon. We will teach Mina how to control her gift more safely and efficiently. But today she has already proven that she is extraordinary. Mina nodded, looking down at the dogs. Each one wagged its tail slightly, their eyes calm and trusting. She could feel their loyalty and their bond, and she knew that together they could face almost anything. The airport slowly returned to normal. Travelers returned to their routines, security officers resumed their patrols, and the scientists prepared to study Mina more closely. But in the middle of the terminal, Mina and her team of dogs remained a symbol of extraordinary courage and the hidden potential of humans to connect with the natural world. Mina's heart beat steadily as she looked around. She had faced chaos, guided the dogs, and protected the passengers without anyone being harmed. She realized that her gift was not just a tool, it was a responsibility, a way to help others. Tommel smiled proudly. Mina, you have done something very special today. But remember, this is only the beginning. You have much to learn and many adventures may come your way. Mina nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and determination. She had discovered her unique ability, and now she understood that it was her choice how to use it. She would be brave, careful, and kind. And as she looked around at the 14 loyal dogs, she knew one thing for certain. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she would never face them alone. Together they were unstoppable. The airport terminal had returned to a calm hum of activity, but the memory of the extraordinary events earlier that day lingered in the minds of travelers, staff, and authorities alike. Mina stood in the center of the secure area, surrounded by her loyal team of 14 police dogs. They wagged their tails gently, their eyes calm and trusting, reflecting the bond they shared. Tommel knelt beside his daughter, holding her hand. Mina, today you showed courage, kindness, and a gift that no one can deny. People will remember this for a long time. Mina smiled shyly, glancing at the dogs. We did it together, she said softly. She had learned something important. Her gift was not only hers, it was shared with the animals she connected with. Drava approached, her tablet in hand, filled with data from the scans she had performed on Mina. Your signals are stronger than we expected. Mina, she said, you've learned to guide the dogs instinctively, even under pressure. But there's more you can do. We can help you train safely and learn to control your gift more precisely. Seelan stepped closer. We would like to invite you to a special training program. It will be a place where you can practice your abilities, understand them better, and use them to help people and animals alike. You won't be alone and you'll be safe. Mina looked at her father. Tommel nodded encouragingly. If you feel ready, Mina, this could be an amazing opportunity. But only if you want it. Mina took a deep breath and smiled. I want to try. I want to help and learn. The scientists guided Mina and her father through the preparations for the training program. The dogs followed closely, their presence comforting and familiar. Mina had grown confident in their abilities, but she also understood the importance of being careful. Today had shown her the potential of her gift, but tomorrow she would learn how to use it wisely. Outside the secure area, news cameras captured every moment. Headlines were already forming online. Little girl commands 14 police dogs, saves airport from drone chaos. And child prodigy shows extraordinary connection with animals. Travelers who had witnessed the events shared videos and photos, spreading Mina's story worldwide. Mina, however, paid little attention to the attention she was receiving. Her focus remained on the dogs and her father. She understood that her gift was more important than fame. What mattered most was how she could use it to help others. As they walked through the airport, the dogs moved in perfect harmony around them, their senses alert and protective. Passengers watched in awe, some whispering, some pointing, but all impressed by the sight of the little girl and her extraordinary companions. Drava spoke softly to Mina. "Your bond with these dogs is remarkable. Most humans can't form this level of trust with animals, let alone communicate with them in a meaningful way. But you can, and that makes you very special." Mina smiled. "I think they are special too. They help me feel brave," Seelan nodded. "Exactly. This is not just about power. It's about partnership, trust, and understanding. Together you can do things that neither humans nor animals could do alone." Tamil looked down at his daughter, pride and hope shining in his eyes. "I always knew you were capable of amazing things, Mina, but today you showed it to the world." Mina squeezed his hand gently. "I just want to help. I want to make people safe, and I want animals to be happy too." Drava smiled warmly. "That is the right way to think. Your gift is a tool for good, and you have the heart to use it wisely. That is what truly makes you extraordinary." As the group reached the airport exit, Mina noticed that some of the travelers were waving at her. Children pointed excitedly and whispered to their parents about the little girl who had saved the day. Mina waved shyly, feeling a warm sense of pride. One of the dogs, Suri, nudged her hand gently with her nose as if reminding her that their journey was not over. Mina knelt down and hugged the dog. "I'm glad you're with me," she whispered. "We'll do great things together." Drava, observing the interaction, nodded approvingly. "That bond will only grow stronger as you train and learn. You will discover more about your abilities, and the world will see how remarkable humans can be when they cooperate with nature." Tamil smiled and looked at the scientists. "We want her to be safe, and we want her to be guided properly." "She is brave, but she is still a child," Seelan reassured him. "Absolutely. Safety and guidance are our priorities. Mina will train in a controlled environment, learning step by step. She will never be forced into situations she's not ready for." Mina felt a sense of excitement. She realized that her gift, which had surprised everyone today, could be developed into something even greater. She could help people, protect animals, and make the world a safer, kinder place. As they prepared to leave the airport, Mina glanced back at the terminal. The lights reflected off the polished floors, and she could see the faint reflections of the 14 dogs standing proudly around her. They had been her protectors, her partners, and her friends. She knew she could rely on them no matter what challenges came next. "Are you ready, Mina?" Tamil asked softly. Mina nodded firmly. "Yes, I'm ready," Drava smiled. "Good. Your journey is just beginning. You will face challenges, learn new things, and discover more about yourself and your abilities. But remember, courage, kindness, and patience will guide you as much as your gift," Seelan added. "And you won't be alone. The dogs, your father, and we will all be here to support you." Mina took a deep breath, feeling the weight and the promise of the future. She had faced chaos, guided 14 police dogs, and protected countless people. She had discovered a gift she never knew she had, and now she was ready to explore it fully. The airport doors opened to the bright sunlight outside. Mina felt the warmth on her face and the wind in her hair. She looked at the dogs, who stood loyally by her side, tails wagging gently. She felt a sense of hope and purpose, knowing that together they could face anything. Tamil looked down at her with pride. "Mina, remember today. Remember that bravery and kindness matter more than anything else. Your gift is special, but it's how you use it that will define you." Mina nodded. "I understand, Dad. I'll do my best." Drava and Seelan smiled. "And we'll help you every step of the way. You're ready for what comes next, Mina. The world is full of possibilities, and you can make it better." Mina looked up at the sky, feeling the vastness of the world around her. She realized that while the airport had been her first challenge, there were many more adventures waiting for her. Her gift was a tool, but her heart was her true power. She would use it to protect, to help, and to inspire others. As they walked toward the waiting vehicle that would take them to the training facility, Mina felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had learned the importance of trust, courage, and partnership. And most of all, she had discovered that being extraordinary was not just about abilities. It was about Heart. The dogs followed closely, forming their familiar circle of protection. Mina smiled at them. "Thank you," she whispered. "We're going to do amazing things together." And with that, Mina, her father, the loyal dogs, and the scientists stepped into a new chapter of their journey. The airport that had witnessed chaos and fear now remembered hope, courage, and the extraordinary power of a little girl and her animal friends. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the path ahead. Mina knew that the world was waiting for her, and she was ready to meet it with bravery, kindness, and the unwavering support of 14 extraordinary companions. Her story, the story of a little girl who could connect with animals and guide them to protect others, had only just begun. And as the vehicle drove away, Mina looked at the horizon, ready for every challenge and adventure that awaited her.